Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Haft here. Episode 27, Beaver Dam in the state of Wisconsin, a corrupt criminal enterprise, and this is a true American horror story. And these are my opinions. This episode, the question is the Wisconsin DNR a terrorist organization, and should they be put on the terrorist watch list? In my opinion, I believe so. So we're going to start out with the first email. And that one I showed you before, but I just want to go through that quick because the big thing on here is the flood insurance study doesn't obviously give us a flood flow that would flood or damage the buildings downstream. So then the next paragraph says another idea is a grant program. But the bottom line here is it's basically an idea. Give us the flood flow that would flood or damage the buildings downstream. Why would he put that in there? So we know for a fact that they wanted to get rid of the dam and they wanted to get rid of the buildings. And my 100% view is that they wanted the buildings out of the way, because if the dam failed, they would be totally responsible, and that was one of the reasons why they wanted me out of there so bad, and they pursued it so much. This email here, and this is where they conspired with the people. Why would you do this to these people after the flood? It says, I don't have a list of questions that I may think will come at the meeting, but I know that one question that will be discussed is who has the authority to condemn buildings. They are the one who has to condemn the building. They say that it would only be done because we would not allow repairs, which they did, told us we couldn't fix our building. And I showed you in a previous episode that you're able to make emergency repairs. And then they, because we forced them to have the 50% rule, and I showed you where that it only includes structural repairs, and they told us that was everything. So, what they did is they actually rendered the people's property economically useless with this. And then this is another email from Don Corford. He was a part of the dam, and Rob Davis is in almost all these. Yeah, he's quite the guy, Rob. And then it says, I'll show you that quick. I don't want which thing I'm making this stuff up. But he says, sorry to bug you again. I'm sure you're very busy trying to recover from all the flooding. But if you could please tell me how the dam was operated during the flood, i.e. when all the boards were pulled, I would greatly appreciate it. The staff that is working on updating the Dodge County floodplain maps wants to be able to include this information in the new flood insurance study. So if they pull all these boards, it's going to definitely affect the people that are in the floodplain or not, if they release too much water. And then on the bottom, from Rob Davis to Don Corford here, it says, I remember talking with you last week when you said they have an operation procedure for the dam that whenever levels get to a certain point that all boards are pulled. And it says, I saw a lot of dams in the past few weeks, but it was you that told me this, right? If so, at what level do you pull all the boards? So if it's, they try to say it's standard dam operation, but if it was standard operation, there would be a level that they pulled all these boards at one time. Why would you want to create a tidal wave, and then there was actually one guy living in his basement, and why not let the people know in the community they can get this stuff out of their basements and stuff, not just the people downtown, because a lot of other people had flooding too. And they built up the water, and then they released all that water from Fox Lake. It's amazing. We're actually paying these guys with taxpayer dollars. So in this interesting one from Rob Davis again, and it's to Christopher Olds. And it says on here, Rob evidently was the one that did this, that changed this. Okay, some people would call it fudging the numbers. I would call some other legal names for that procedure. What's taking place right here? It says, just as an FYI for your information, I looked at the Beaver Dam gauge, and on the days when the flow originally showed 1,900 plus. So this is 1,900 cubic feet per second, okay? Plus. So the gauge, guess, was underwater. So we really can't tell exactly how high it was, okay? And it has been revised to be approximately 1,675 CFS June 16th and 17th. Hope you had a good vacation. Thanks again for help with the Beaver Dam model. So why would they change the amount of level of water if they weren't releasing too much water? It's sad. They would have fixed this dam earlier. So I sat down and I did the math. Okay, so a cubic foot of water, I thought it was kind of hard to believe, is 7.481 gallons in a cubic foot, because it's 12 by 12 by 12. And then in gallons, that would be 7.481 gallons per cubic foot. So in 1 second, it would be 1,683 gallons per second. And then per minute, times 60 minutes, it'd be 100,993.5 gallons. That's per minute, okay? My math might be wrong, but I did it with a calculator. So that's 6,059,610 gallons per hour, okay? And then in a day, it's 145,430,640 gallons in a day. And like I said, it was over 1,900. So who knows exactly how much this was? It could be 200 million, 300 million. I'm not sure, because the gauge was underwater. But I just thought I'd share that with you. Okay, so then, the DNR, are we safe from these people? So they went through all this stuff with the city, and the city had to get paid for my building, so the DNR had to buy it, and then they were going to donate it back to the city and all this stuff. So I wrote Kathy Stepp because I knew the way the DNR operated, and I didn't trust them for 1 minute. So I asked Kathy Stepp, I said, Kathy, is the DNR really going to buy my building? Because they gave me permission to salvage my building. So I salvaged my building, and then I signed to sell my building, and then the DNR walked away. It says, this is from a letter I got from Kathy Stepp, who is the DNR secretary. Thank you for writing me about your fountain name property. I was sorry to hear that you had an ongoing disagreement with the Department of Natural Resources over purchasing the fountain, so it could be removed from the floodway of the Beaver Dam River. I understand that you accepted an offer at Beaver Dam on January 25th. This should resolve the issues with the city of Beaver Dam and the DNR, and I'm pleased to hear this outcome. And this took such a long time because their idea of an appraisal was having a guy drive by in a car and give you an appraisal. Because it just baffles me, because these people get paid by taxpayers like me and you and everybody else, and they think they're above the law and they can do whatever they want at any time. And again, thanks for bringing this to my attention. I wish you well endeavors. And then she writes on the bottom, we're working hard to bring accountability and transparency to this agency. Your case, like many others, illustrates the need for us to persevere. Thank you for writing. So that's that letter from Kathy Stepp, And the DNR, when I came out and said the truth about the dam, they walked away, okay? They left me with, my building salvaged, basically unable to reopen. I sat there for 3 years, but, who do these people really think they are? Because they were pissed when I said the truth about the dam. So this is the Beaver Dam Lake, the dam. I showed this before, but I want to put this all together. And what I want people to do is I want you to vote on this, okay? So if you vote alike, that you agree with me that the DNR should be labeled a terrorist organization, and the consequences with it. They're basically saying here that they want to remove the dam, and then they gave them a timetable to fix it and stuff, and then all the stuff was supposed to be fixed on here by the last one, install the gates, do the concrete core sampling and stuff like this. So by this 2007. So they didn't do any of the repairs. And why? Okay. And we had the flood a year later, 2008. And then I had another email that said that they were worried about the dam failing, this, an imminent failure of the dam. So if you run a city, why would you possibly not fix this dam? And that's the total reason I deal with it. They want to remove this dam. It's pretty much that simple. And then let's see what we got here. the dam report, they're supposed to fix it and they didn't. And, we probably wouldn't have had very much flooding at all if they would have operated right and, kept the boards in if they weren't worried about it failing. So then the mayor comes on and he says on that video that I have in there, and I got a press release right here, it says the dam is in perfect condition. This is 9 years after this report. Like I said, it's impossible for him not to see this report. 9 years later, it had floods, and they blame it on the buildings. You have a dam. I showed you in this episode 2 how they had a history of being unable to pull the boards. So then I came public about the dam. The DNR was pissed, so they had to fix the dam. So they put that 20-ton slab on top of the crumbling infrastructure. Didn't fix all the stuff they were supposed to. They did put new gates in at the time. And I talked to DNR, and they said, they approved it, but he didn't approve of it, and, all this crap. It's just amazing who these people are. So then I called Homeland Security, and they fixed the dam, and, I told you before that I felt that I, helped, save the lake, and possibly the city and the people that live in the community. Because public safety is supposed to be your number one thing. It's not all about a development with the MOU, with the removal of the 17 small business owners. You could develop the shoe factory, which is actually in the floodway too. Okay, this is the press release where the mayor says that the dam is in perfect condition. And what's interesting about this, he says, Kenny shot back that Hef was trying to scare people for the past 2 years, spouting off that the city had not complied with the orders to repair the dam. They did. Why would you lie to your people in your community? Who are you? And the thing about it is if I was spouting off 2 years, wouldn't you think he'd look at the dam report and realize what's on there? It's unbelievable. It's reckless endangerment. And the whole 15,000 people who live here, their families and their children, their properties, their life investments and everything. If I own property in this town, I'd been, excuse me again, be so pissed. Okay, so now, Virgil's building, I explained how, he wanted to fix it and they wouldn't let him fix it, and why didn't they? And they were going to put him in violation of public safety doctrine, which they did to me, because I fixed my building. And then, they went on there and, threatened me, intimidated me, coerced me, and all this stuff to sell my property for my assessed value. And another one is, I showed you in there one of my previous episodes about the environmental terrorism. I mean, to fill in the floodway, which they legally couldn't do, they had set it on the permit. According to Jim Condon, they never removed lead paint. You've got lead paint contaminated fill now running through the river and, flowing down, and, whoever drinks the water out of there could possibly get contaminated from deer to whatever. It's just unbelievable. Like I said, are we safe? And I want people to, if you agree with me, vote yes. That you believe that the DNR is a terrorist group. And, if you vote like, you would vote yes. And if you don't, choose not to vote or whatever, it'll go against a no vote. And then this is the whole deal with the floodplain maps, okay? To do this just for this developer and do all this stuff, to damage the citizens of your community. It says Beaver Dam River dam scenario, Beaver Dam River dam removed scenario. I'm trying to get this in with a certain time period so I can put it on TikTok too, because people love the videos on there. But so if you own property that's in the floodplain, you're required to have flood insurance if you have a loan. So if we had a flood again, possibly, maybe not, hopefully not, that their building got damaged and stuff like that, and they were told that they weren't in the floodplain anymore because there is no dam. So it's a circus act, I mean, and please vote. If you vote like on it, then that's a yes vote. You agree with me. Like I said, these are all my opinions. These are serious accusations. But when you have all the legal evidence and these emails and stuff to explain this, I mean, it's basically unexplainable. And I thank you, folks.